you want to share?
About what? What exactly? Because I have lots of things I could share that I need to tap about.
No, do
This
you want
week
to
has been
share
crazy, but what do you want me to share?
what we did? So basically, I called Denise today. Today I filmed the video. I was crying. I swear, I'm saying this. I was crying. We're crying in panic because I pushed myself to do the ads and like, is this mix? So we have been talking. So I feel this mix of excitement. Then there, my body saying probably, oh, here she goes. She's having a panic attack. And then it's really very difficult. Then I am here smiling, but really hardcore. And today, the cherry on top of the cake is I went to a cafe and I asked decaf. And some dumb people serve me normal coffee. And if you struggle with that, believe me, it's not a nice feeling. So then I text her and she was like, yeah. Do you want to share or not?
Sure.
Oh, I'm just putting you on the spot, but there's not so many people here, so it's okay.
It's fine. We're family. Well, not so many people here, but I do see the recording button happening. So,
Yeah, it is. It
yeah.
is
So I'm
recording.
not falling for that lady. But no, it's totally fine. So we were messaging back and forth, and she was talking about how panicked she was about things. And I said, oh, me too. I was fine until she had posted something about the challenge, and she was doing that thing where she asks a question
Mhm.
after you comment. And so the question she asked me was, do you want to go viral? And I know what my answer is. It was no. Oh God, no. Which is what I felt. And so I figured that she was not looking for that response for me to comment, so I didn't. But yeah, I had to deal with those feelings. And of course, what I told her was what was coming up was, oh my God, I have made the biggest mistake of my life volunteering to tap about this thing. I can't, but why did I do that? That was ridiculous.
Yeah. This
But
this morning I recorded a video about that, a bit about, and we have been talking about that, about I have a level of fear than for all other things, then physically is painful. And then we realize then she have as well. And we don't give up because like we know then we have a strong why behind this, right?
right. So I think that's one of the take home lessons that you can take from it is sometimes we see people out there that are doing things that either we haven't done yet, or they're doing them in a bigger way, or they're doing them in a different area than us, whatever the case is. And we think that fear is a reason to stop, but all of us who are entrepreneurs, we know that these things come up. And so all of this, the reason that Rocky and I wanted to team up about this is to give tools to deal with that fear when it comes up, when you're doing something bigger than you have done before, whatever it is. And so I didn't know what she was going to be doing on this call, today's
Me either.
call, but I told her, look, if I'll show up and if you want to tap and they can all join in and get benefit from what you want to tap about, we can do that. If you're not doing tapping at all, that is totally fine too. I have some exercises that I'm thinking about doing for the challenge. They can be now, they can be later, like whatever.
Basic, I think I always use the reason, and I kidnap Denise, so I have a reason to tap extra. I from the other, I don't know who was here from the other session, but Javier, I know you were.
Mhm.
From the fears then we talked about, or the limitation beliefs, what is the one then you think maybe you need or you can improve?
Mm. I think, well, in my case, because once I get something in my head, I go full on, and it's a good thing, and it's a bad thing. because sometimes you get a little bit frustrated. I do get like that. I have good days and good weeks that I'm like, oh, fucking, this is great. Like everything is falling into place. That's fantastic. And then the following week, nothing is going into place and all that. And then you're like, if I'm doing the same shit as I did last week, why this week is not working? So it's just very, because I'm driven like that. I can get frustrated. So listen, this is not just because of this. This is all my life has been like that. So I'm at this point, I think I'm more self-aware of what it is, and then I kind of like, it's not easy, right? I'm not definitely not perfect, and sometimes I let it go too long. Like the idea is to stop it early, right? So it doesn't get into you, that feeling of like frustration or anything. But it still gets me, it still gets me. And sometimes I'm like, this kind of shit, I can't believe it's not having the results I want to have. And then I'm like, hold on a fucking sec.
But like, why the question is, why why you want the results to come back to you, or is just the frustration again?
Sorry, I lost you, Rocky.
Hello?
I think I lost everybody.
No, you are still here.
Oh no,
we hear you.
Javier.
Javier froze. It's the fear.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I didn't hear your question.
I was asking you why you get frustrated.
Because I guess I need to work on my patience. And I just,
what do you feel? What is the feeling? So you get frustrated. What is the sequence? You look at the numbers, they don't up.
Yeah, it's like you have a goal, and then you believe you're working hard for that goal. And then, it just take longer, or it doesn't happen as you wanted, or, or just that happen differently.
Do you celebrate when you get your goals?
Yeah, I do. Oh. But well, I'm happy. Like when I hit 1,000.
That is not an answer. Do you celebrate when you like?
What is celebration for you?
Still like?
Oh yeah, absolutely. For example, I give you an example, right? There's a online and also regular radio here in Ireland that is called Fever or something like that. That I used to listen a long time ago, which is just electronic music. Actually, it doesn't go every day. It goes like Thursday, Fridays, Saturdays, and something like that, right? And I text them, and they came back and said, "Oh, if you want to have a show," and I'm like, "I don't want to have a show. I don't have time to have a show. I just want to go in as a guest in some, guy that has a good spot, like a Friday night, Saturday night, something like that." And I text the guy, and he didn't give a about me texting it, right? And I texted him like a month ago, something like that. He didn't reply, nothing. I saw he saw it, right? But he didn't reply anything. So I was like a little bit disappointed. And then yesterday, obviously, after all the hype of like AD and all these and all the blah, today, all of a sudden, he came back and said, "Oh, I'm gonna have a look to your sets and I'll let you know." So I celebrate. I was very happy. I did a little bit of a dancing.
It's important. Like, I don't know, but I feel that celebration is really important.
It is. But not everybody, I guess, because I work so much with people. Like you have introverts, extroverts, etc. For you, a celebration is a dance. For someone else, it's just a smile, and it's completely
for me, celebration is when I sell is Ring a Bell. That is one of my favorite ones because they have a audio connection as well.
Yeah, but that's very sales 1960s type of post-Second World War type of thing.
I don't care. It's
good. No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying that used to be in every company back in the day,
in a stock market.
Yeah, and stock market in houses when they sell houses as well. But if you ever own an eBay shop, when you sell something, you hear the ka-ching from the machine. It's very addictive. It's really interesting how sound have a profound effect. Jesus, so many people here. Oh, we have. Wait, I want to present you guys something, and then I'm passing the ball for Denise. Hi. Good morning. It's so early for you, Tyler.
Hello, yes it is. Nice
Nice to meet you.
to meet you too. How are you?
How many hours did you sleep?
Not many.
Okay, you can go to bed after. So Tyler is
So
from
good.
Australia, guys. We had Lisa from Australia. Now we have Tyler from Australia. And he's
Hello,
joined
everyone.
us today, and like brave, it's here today. So hi, Max. So basic, what I want to say is this calls on Tuesday mix all influence warriors, not just artists. And we have a rock star here named Denise Pena, and we are working, I'm torturing you, and we are working in a project for the 21 days challenge. Denise is very connected with changing our beliefs about social media. Okay, so you can access to, on the course, you can access to a thing named the Vault or the Viral Mindset, and you have there more information and old calls. And we do this technique. Then Denise is the #1 on my world. Let's put it like that. And it's a funny technique then we use to go against things than we believe, like fears. Do you have anything about social media that you don't like you get frustrated, or you really don't like to post, or you think then you don't get enough engagement, or?
Sort of like it's hard at the moment because we're in lockdown, so like it's hard to have enough content to post because there's no gigs or anything happening. Like we're sort of stuck at home, so it's hard to make content at the moment. But yeah, that's about the only thing really. When I do have the content, I try and post as much as I can. So
I will give you infinite ideas for content. You are in the perfect place.
perfect.
So that's not the issue anymore. Okay, Denise, what we are going to tap? What is the idea? What are we going to do?
Well, I kind of like what Javier was talking about, where, you know, some periods of time, some days, some weeks, some whatever, there's just a lot of frustration. And it's not to say, just as he was saying, like you can be an overall positive person. You can have an overall really great outlook on what it is you're doing and why you're doing and the direction you're going. There are times when things do get frustrating, and the trick is always to get yourself, the faster you can get yourself out of that, the better. And so this would be a way to get out of it faster. And Javier, oh my God, I hear you, because I am having one of those days or one of those weeks.
Yeah.
And today is the cherry on top of that day. So
why? Because I torture you?
No,
yes.
oh my God, are you kidding me? That was the easiest part of my day. No, it's just technology not working right, links not connecting, people rescheduling and then rescheduling.
But you know, with technology, I found that with technology is really hardcore, because on the sense then if one thing is not working, you go to a totally flow of shitty mode, like everything is not going to work.
Right. So here, oh my gosh, yes. So here's the deal. The exercise that I was thinking of when Javier was talking about that is what I would do if I were not on this call right now. So
pretend that we're not here.
What?
Pretend that we're not here and go ahead.
Okay, well, so, but you all can do this with me, and you all can do it on something that you feel frustrating about. So yes, if there's something associated with social media, great. But if not, just pick something that you could use a change in perspective in, or just you've got some thoughts going around in your head about it and you would like different thoughts. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have a question for you. So for example, I have this fear and anxiety around running ads. You know that we went to that. So how could I put that in what we are going to do?
Great. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask each of you to, once you've picked your thing, your target thing that we're going to do, I'm going to have you list just the thoughts that are in your head thinking about your topic, whatever it is.
Okay.
So I'm going to, hang on, Rocky.
No, it's just Milena had her hand up. I was just acknowledging that she was, do you want to say something?
I wanted to say, yes, I would like to say that for me, like I don't get so frustrated easily anymore. Before, much more, I was very anxious or nervous about many things. But how I like to think about it is if there is some situation that doesn't go as I expected or some kind of change of turn, I always feel like, okay, it's just a new challenge. It's just a new, like when you play a video game, it's like a new level or a new challenge you need to kind of overcome. And it's like in a game, you have to find the key to open that door, you know? And I find that this kind of thinking, or even if people that are annoying or something, is just like you get you have to do this extra challenge to overcome which you need. And I think it's kind of fitting for this conversation. I just wanted to share that.
I think it's
And then it makes me just happy about it and just like, okay, take it peacefully and okay, let's do this new challenge. Let's find this key to open that door.
And absolutely, Milana, you know what? That is fantastic to have that ability just in you. And I do that a lot. I think anybody who is endeavoring to do something, like create something, has that in them naturally. And this is something you can do when you just can't access that immediately, right? Because maybe you haven't experienced it in a while, but I think most people, when they are trying something new or just everything's coming on them, they have a little trouble getting to there, or they don't get there as fast as they normally can. And this is something you can do when you're having trouble getting to that state that you're describing so beautifully. Is that cool? Ah, she gave a thumbs up. Beautiful.
sounds amazing. I found that is that like I cannot keep repeating. I keep then tapping is the stupid thing ever when you see it for the first time. Sorry, but it gets me there, and I'm obsessed with. So sorry for the stupid thing, but it looks weird. Okay, then you finally laugh, and you don't want another thing, but it's okay.
Right. So absolutely. So if you all, some of you have done this before with me, some of you may have done this with other people. Some of you have never done this. So for those of you who have never done this, I'm just going to let you know it looks really weird and like it couldn't possibly have any effect. However, there are some people in this call who have tried it and they will also tell you that it works. So here we go. Does everybody have a thing that they could choose? Even if it's something completely unrelated to social media. So this is just something that you would like to think different thoughts about, or someplace where you're frustrated. A lot of times, if I wake up with the grumpies, you know, if I just wake up in a bad mood and I don't want to do anything, and I am determined to want to not do anything, I will use this exercise that we're about to do. So does everybody have something they could work on? I see some, yeah, I see some, great. All right, so here is what I want you to do. So hopefully you've got some paper and a pen because you're gonna be writing some things down. Great, I see them. So I want you to draw a line down the middle of your page. So you're dividing your page into 2 sections. Great. Now at the top, you can write whatever your thing is about. So mine is just going to be the frustration of my day. But yours can be whatever it is that you choose, right? Frustration. That's what I've got at the top of mine. And on the first side, whatever that side is for you, and if you speak a language other than English, you can write your list in whatever your native language is. But I'm just going to be talking about it in English. So on the first section, I'm going to set a timer and we're going to go, let's try for 90 seconds. And all I want you to do is write the thoughts that come to your mind. So as you think them, just write them down about whatever your topic is. And the way that I want you to do this is kind of in a bullet point list. So these are going to be really short sentences or phrases about this thing. The negative ones, as you are thinking them right now. And Milana, if you are in a really great mood, you can always listen to this later. Cool.
I'm using my notes. I'm writing on my phone. Don't worry.
Perfect. All right. So you can all already start, but I'm going to set my timer. And here we go.
Sorry, I finally was able to log in and I can hear you before I couldn't. Sorry for late.
Oh, no problem. And this is all the negative thoughts you're feeling.
Sorry. It's just my brain is too stupid sometimes.
Right. So don't edit yourself. Don't be mature about it. This is just as you're thinking it, the way you would think it. Potty mouth is okay. You got about 30 seconds left.
I was doing before, so I am sparing this. I knew it already.
Right. Okay, so that's actually your 90 seconds. But if you have a few more thoughts that you just want to get down, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, just sort of like look up, give me a wave so I can see that you're done. And then I'll tell you what to do next.
Sorry, Denise, should we be putting a feeling beside that, or is it literally just the thought? Like I'm putting down like specific sentences to do with thoughts that are in my head rather than feelings. So should we be putting an emotional element to it, or?
You can do thoughts, or you can do, if your thought is incorporates a feeling, you can do feeling, but you don't have to say like this is anger or
Okay.
anything like what we did before. This is a different exercise.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Sure. Okay, looks like most people are kind of up and done. All right, cool. So, Desi, what is your actual name?
Des. Cal.
Is it Des?
Yeah.
Okay.
Desmond, but short Des.
Des, okay.
Des is short of Des.
Desmond.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, the DJ names kind of, throw me.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like everybody is done. All right, cool. So here's what I want you to do. And this is a part that Rocky was talking about, that it looks a little crazy. But before you do, if you are looking at your list and you've got an emotion that you can just associate with it, just write that emotion down somewhere on your paper, it doesn't matter where. And then what I want you to do is rate that emotion from 0 to 10, where 10 is the most you can feel that emotion. 0 is you don't feel it at all. How much do you feel that emotion right now as you are looking at your list and sort of reading them over? Great. All right, it looks like Rocky's at a 9. Tyler might be at a 5 or he's done. All right, but so you've got your number. Great. So now all I want you to do, actually, this is the way that we're going to do this. I want to pick a volunteer and I'm going to lead you through it, and everybody else is going to follow along to the best of their ability, doing what I do and saying what's on your paper. And this might be a little tricky. You might not be able to say what's on your paper because you need to see me. That's okay. This will still work. So if there's somebody brave who, this is basically going to be Simon Says, I'm going to be tapping on certain acupressure points on my head and torso and maybe hands. And I'm going to have you do it too. Everybody's going to do it, but I'm going to focus on one person's list. Does this make sense?
Do you want
And
to
then
do
I'm
the
going to
points?
check in. What?
You want to show the points before so they are not like where I go in my hands?
Well, I wasn't going to, but I can. I wasn't going to actually, because You don't have to
Okay,
do
leave
anything.
it. Yeah, you are taking care, so, okay,
Yeah.
leave it.
And I totally get. So what we're doing is I'm having you use acupressure points, that the stimulation of the acupressure points, which is what you're going to do with your fingertips on these points, interrupts the stress response. And the statements that I had you write focuses that interruption of the stress response where it is that you need it right now. So it's on the items on your list. And doing it in a group allows everyone to get the benefit on theirs, even though I'm just going to work with one person. Does that make sense?
If no one wants
Even
to
if-
go, I can offer myself. But if other person, if someone else wants to go, I'm happy to not go.
I can go, I don't mind, whatever. I'm easy.
Hi,
And you are
Tyler.
sleeping, so it's okay.
Hey, Tyler, good job. All right,
Thank
so
you.
what was the emotion that you had for your list?
I guess like just like anxiety. I always overthink my posts and like my content creation because I want it to look like professional and whatnot. So that's probably my main thing.
Cool. And so when you looked at your list, what number did you rate it?
Probably like 4 or 5.
Beautiful.
Makes me slack off because then I don't know what to post, then I overthink it, and then I end up not doing anything.
Right. And you know what? That is such a good point because yes, a 4 to 5 at anxiety isn't, tragic. Like
Yeah.
it's not going to impact you going around day to day. But the fact is, it actually does have an impact because what you end up doing is procrastinating on the posting that you could be doing.
Which is exactly
So-
what happened. Yep.
Getting that number down actually will help you. So we'll see what happens. And you're super brave for trying this. So if everyone can follow along and mimic and do what I'm going to have Tyler do. And so y'all are doing it in support of Tyler. Tyler, you and I are doing this for your thing. So all I want you to do is, it's exactly like Simon says. And I'm going to have you tap on these points and I want you to breathe in a certain way. And the breathing is just focusing on making that out breath longer than your in breath. So you don't have to take really big breaths. Like you don't have to fill up your lungs or anything like that. But try to make your out breaths longer than your in breaths. That's all you're going for. And you're doing great. And I know that I'm not taking the time to tell you where the points are. I have videos that like show all of these instructions in detail.
And a PDF, we have a PDF ready.
Great. But for right now, it's not important. Close is good enough. And so these are the points. And there's actually points all along here and all along here. So just close is good enough. There's one about 4 inches below your armpit. And remember that breathing the out breaths, making them lower. And then the last two that I'm going to show you is inside the wrist to inside of the wrist. And outside of the wrist to outside of the wrist. So back to back. Good. And like I said, these are points that acupuncturists would use, but just instead of using needles, I'm just having you use your fingertips to stimulate the points. All right, good. So now, Tyler, what I want you to do to the best of your ability, and you can keep glancing at me to see what point I'm doing, is read the sentences on your list. And every time you move to a new sentence, move to a new point. Okay?
Okay. I didn't have many sentences, just 2 pretty like main ones. So my content and my brand and overthinking my creations and posts. And then my second one was overthinking my posts aren't good enough and makes me slack off and not post. That was my 2 points pretty much.
Great. Okay. So my posts aren't good enough. Yeah, is that what
Yeah.
you said?
Pretty much, yeah.
Overthinking my posts.
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead and repeat what I'm saying. Overthinking my posts.
Overthinking my posts.
Good. My posts aren't good enough.
My posts aren't good enough.
Good. Overthinking my posts.
Overthinking my post.
And go ahead and keep tapping. And I can understand if you're thinking, wow, this sounds really negative, but we're just interrupting that stress response and directing that interruption towards the negative thoughts. That's why I'm saying negative thoughts. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Overthinking my posts.
Overthinking my post.
Posts aren't good enough.
Posts aren't good enough.
Overthinking my posts.
Overthinking my posts.
Posts aren't good enough.
Posts aren't good enough.
Tell me what your first sentence was again.
My content and brand, and overthinking my creations and posts.
Okay. Worried about my content and brand.
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 All this worry about my content and brand.
All this worry about my content and brand.
My posts are going to ruin my brand.
My posts are going to ruin my brand.
Ooh, my posts are going to ruin my brand.
Posts are going to ruin my brand.
Okay, tell me what the laugh and smile are about.
I don't know. I'm just giggling.
Okay. But sometimes that is a fear, right? That if the post isn't good enough, it's going to affect our brand. Yeah?
Yeah, pretty much.
This post could ruin my brand.
Posts could ruin my brand.
This post could ruin my brand.
Posts could ruin my brand.
Remember to breathe and remember to make that out breath longer. This post could ruin my brand.
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 This post could affect my brand.
Post could affect my brand.
This 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 post could affect my brand.
Okay, so go ahead and stop. Take a deep breath. And I just want you to rate your anxiety right now between 0 and 10. 10 is the most, 0 is not at all.
Pretty low, probably like a 1 or a 2. Not really overthinking it that much.
Right. Okay, great. So now here is the next step in the process, and everybody can do this. And I promise I'm going to check in with you guys, like the rest of you, after we do this. So on the other side of your paper, what I want you to do is for every sentence you wrote, so others of you are going to have more sentences, I just want you to write the opposite of whatever your sentence is. Does not have to be believable, does not have to be emotionally true for you. It just needs to be the opposite. Okay. And I'm going to give you 90 seconds, but I don't think you'll take it all probably. If you come to a sentence where you have trouble determining what the opposite ought to be, you can always just popcorn it out and ask me. And Tyler, you might actually end up with more sentences than you started with, because actually we broke it down into a few sentences. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the chat, the question, like if I don't have an opposite.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Should I just pop it in the chat if I have a question? Is that what you said?
Oh, no, you can say it out loud if you don't mind.
Okay, so yeah, what record label should I send it to?
Okay, so the thought behind that question is I don't know what record label to send it to.
Oh, so I do know. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Good job. Sorry, that was the end of the 90 seconds, but if you need more time, take it.
May I just say, I saw Tyler's Instagram and I think the posts are really cool. So I don't think you have to have any worries.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, take that compliment, Tyler. And then
Thank
what
you.
I will say is, isn't that the funny thing about this stuff, though, about mindset? The facts don't matter. Your thoughts can still get in the way. So
Yeah, definitely.
that's why it's good to take care of this stuff.
I'll say many times we even don't realize the stupid things that are on the way. Like things then we'll say, no, if someone said something, I believe, I'll give you a specific one about money, but the belief then people with money are bad people. If you said that to me, then I had that belief. I say, you are insane. But then I found out when I started doing this, then that belief was inside of me. Then my grandma saying that, it's really interesting because many times we believe something and we have other dirty stuff under that.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, so true. And this is a great way to find out that dirty stuff and then take care of it and replace it with something that actually serves us better. Because it's not that these thoughts are bad, it's just that they're not helpful. And so this is a way to replace it with more helpful thoughts. All right, looks like everybody's done. So Tyler, are you ready to
Sure.
go to your positive list?
Yep.
All right. So all I want you to do is the exact same thing. We're going to tap through the points and I want you to read your positive statements, one positive statement per point.
Okay, no worries. So my content is good enough and professional enough,
Good.
and posting creative posts and being productive rather than
Good.
slacking off.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Tell me
And
that sentence again.
posting creative posts and being productive and not slacking off.
Okay. I'm good at creative posts.
I'm good at creative posts. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
I'm
content
focused.
isn't ruining my brand.
Okay. So, yes, that is a good statement. A better statement would be my content supports my brand.
My content supports my brand.
My brand can withstand whatever
My brand.
content I post.
My brand can withstand whatever content I post.
Yeah. So you get the idea.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So just keep reading through your sentences as we're tapping on the different points.
My content is good enough and professional enough.
Good.
My content posting is productive.
Good. Remember, focus on those out breaths being longer than your in breaths.
My content supports my brand.
Good. And I think for you, a good sentence would be, my brand can withstand any post.
My brand can withstand any post.
Yeah. Because that would give you some freedom to play around, I think, right?
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead, keep saying your sentences as we go through the points.
My content is good enough.
Good. Breathe.
My content supports my brand.
Good.
My content is good enough.
Good.
My content is productive and supports my brand.
Good. My brand is strong enough to withstand any content.
My brand is strong enough to withstand any content.
Good. I can afford to experiment with content.
I can afford to experiment with content.
My content doesn't have to be perfect.
My content doesn't have to be perfect.
Done is better than perfect.
Very true. Done is better than perfect.
Breathe that one in. Slow out breath. I can give myself permission to put out all kinds of content.
I can give myself permission to put out all kinds of content.
How does that feel to you?
Feels good.
Okay. I'm just throwing things out there. I don't.
Oh, that's cool. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's cool.
All right, read through your sentences again.
My content is good enough.
Good.
My content supports my brand.
Good.
I can experiment with my content.
Good. My brand is strong.
My brand is strong. Yeah.
Done is better than perfect.
Done is better than perfect.
And done feels good.
Done feels good. Done does feel good.
Mhm.
You're right.
Good. Stop, take a deep breath. All right, go ahead, rate your anxiety number now.
Pretty calm, like low, very low, probably next to nothing.
Give me a number.
0, 1, around there.
Good. Okay. Do you have some positive feelings now that weren't there before?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So, just in a nutshell, what we did was we just took those thoughts that are swirling, even if you didn't realize because you necessarily hadn't been thinking until I asked the question about you posting in your content, right? But those thoughts are in your head, they're sucking up energy. So, got you to write them down, focus them, interrupt that stress response associated with those. And then once your number got down a little lower, then we went ahead and put some more productive thoughts and tapped those in. And now you feel better.
Yeah.
Ta-da! So now, okay, so yes, it is, you stepped up to the plate, which I really appreciate. This wasn't necessarily a problem for you right now. However, the next time that you find yourself procrastinating on posting, this is something you can do.
Yeah,
And the
definitely.
thoughts that you may come up with might be different, but they're going to be truer for you at the moment, which means it will be even more effective for you to clear them and then think different thoughts.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Yay, Tyler, good job.
Thank you.
And thank you for being brave too.
It's okay.
All right, so checking in with the rest of you. How are your numbers doing? Like, where did you start with the negative number and where are you now that you have tapped in support of Tyler?
I can say that from the last time we did this exercise, it stays like on 1, 2. It doesn't even go up. Feel more relaxed.
Great.
Hey, so actually, you know what? If you guys want to type in the chat what your number started with and what it is now. And you can even put like the emotion. So I don't know, anger 8 to 2, anxiety 6 to 3, whatever it is. And that'll give me an idea. Good. Yay, yay, yay. All right, so I see 9 to 4, I see 8 to 4, 5 to 2, 7 to 2, anxiety 5 to 1.
Sorry, I did a few.
I just saw your response, Des, and I'm like, oh my God, how many things did you do? But that's amazing.
Well, I did one for each question. They're all in the same kind of area, but they're just being a bit more specific, I think, from the last time.
And you know what? Specific is fantastic. I love specific as a tapper because the more specific you get, the faster it'll work. So fantastic.
There was one thing that I didn't even think of, but it kind of came up when you were talking to Tyler there, that I wouldn't have even realized was something that was there.
Ooh, what was it?
It was the just my tracks are good for my brand. I didn't think it wouldn't have, I wouldn't have associated it with, I don't know why, but it wasn't in my initial list of something that I thought I might have in my head.
I love that. That is what always happens to me. I don't know, but I don't know if it's normal, Denise, but I always like, I'm so convinced about my stuff, and then it always pops up some mushroom out of nowhere. Then you find then he's really the one who probably is holding you back. At least this happens with me. Maybe because I'm really into find out everything was creating holding me back, but I don't know if this is normal for other people.
Okay, so I can go ahead and answer that. It is incredibly normal. So here are some things that happen with this particular exercise. The first thing is with that initial 90 seconds I gave you, first of all, you can choose however amount of time. What I normally do is I give myself until the bottom of the page. And what happens, generally speaking, not just with me, but everybody, in the last 10 seconds of however much time you give yourself, or the last 3 or 4 sentences I write, that's when I get to the really real. That's when I get to the big thing that is the problem, which might be the fear that this would hurt my brand, or that's when I get down to, oh, I'm worried about how this would affect me, like the perfectionism. So before I might have seen it as, oh, I just don't have time. I'm too busy right now. And those will be the thoughts that I write down. But then when I get to the bottom of my page, I realize, oh, I'm being perfectionistic again. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm somehow
I'm
all I see
100%
are the-
guilty of that, in special well, no, in special, and I'm fighting. And for example, on the challenge, for many reasons, the challenge is made with audios. So instead of me filming so it's short videos where you listen to me talking. And you know, I did courses and I paid huge amount of money, and all my videos were extreme, not all, but extreme editing and hours, and that is because I was not finishing anything, you know, and I found out, you know what, I'm just in a mastermind and I supposedly pay $30,000 and they don't have one video, they just have audios. So if I'm learning, probably everyone can do this challenge and enjoy it as well without seeing my face constantly. But that was not possible to do without constantly working with you and always finding what is on the way. It's very, but let me tell you, sometimes more you tap, more grump you get, because until you clean what is there holding you back.
Right. Okay. So here are some things that can happen. Like if you try this on your own, and if you do try this on your own, I would very much appreciate you're letting me know how it goes. But here's the deal. So a really real fear belief that you have could come up, which is great. Concentrate your tapping on that, because that's actually the thing you need to get out of your way to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do. Right. So that's thing one. Thing two, what was I going to say? Oh, for the newbies. So 3 things can happen when you tap. Your numbers can go up, they can go down, or they can stay the same. If they are going down, great. That's actually what it is that you want them to do. If they go up, that's actually a really good sign. That means that you are zeroing, well, let me not use the word zero because we're talking about numbers, but that means that you are focusing on the actual problem. And just like if you feel nausea, sometimes these things come up as they are on their way out. So if your numbers go up, just keep going, because it means that it's actually coming out. Your numbers will, I promise, if you keep going, start going down again. If your numbers stay the same, that all that means is that you're not being specific enough about what it is that is troubling you in the moment. So just get more specific with your statements. So in other words, instead of procrastination in general, talk about your feelings about the specific thing that you are procrastinating on. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. I saw some head nods. Are there any other questions for me about this or about your use of it, or any comments, anything about this?
Hi, someone there? Wait. I just want to talk again about the beginning of this call and about I'm very into this idea of how we handle fear, because I found that is the key of my week. It's my week is based on feeling fear, and as well, feeling then is okay to be scared of. And I just want you to go back again from what fear means and why we feel fear, because we don't feel fear if we are not changing anything, right? Denise?
Oh, you wanted me to talk about
Yeah,
this?
I want you to go to that with me again, because I feel in many times like when we want to expand, the fear comes to hold us back. And braves are, you have a beautiful story about Napoleon. Then he was in, I think I told this, is inside of a book from a Brazilian writer named Paulo Coelho, and his book name is Maktub. Then is a Arabic expression, means is destiny, basic. And you have this story about Napoleon being a very young general and being in front of the war. I don't know how to say it. So, you know, war front. And he had these soldiers that were older than him. And he was in front there, very small guy, shaking with fear. And the soldiers were making fun of him. And he said something like, if you had half of the fear than I have now, you are not here anymore. And I found that so powerful, especially because all of us here, the reason why we are here is because we want more for our life, and we want our mission, whatever it is, to touch people's hearts. So we want to have impact. And that fear, more impact you want to have, more fear reaction comes to you first. Then is the story of our week, right? I want to know what you think about this.
Oh gosh, I think lots of things about this. I mean, so one of the things I will say is that I agree with you completely, Rocky. The more important something is to you, the more fear you can have around it. Doesn't mean that you're not going to do the thing, but there is more emotions because it means more. And maybe this is me talking from my coaching perspective. Here's something else I will say, and this is like more true for coaches, but hear what it is that I'm saying and pick out the parts that would apply to you in your life and what it is that you're doing. I hear a lot of coaches out there talking about, listen to your emotions, listen to your fear, like it all tells you something. And I think a lot of people misinterpret what it is saying. There are a whole lot of people out there who say that it means that you shouldn't do something. What it actually means is that it is important to you. And so fear is never a reason not to do something, but it is something you should absolutely pay attention to. And what I will tell you that is different from a lot of coaches, because a lot of coaches out there tell you how to do something. They will tell you the steps you take, just like what Rocky is doing, right? She's giving you a blueprint for what you do with your social media. My coaching is all about taming that fear, is all about reducing that emotions so that you are able to take action from a different place and it doesn't feel so bad or scary. I'll never tell you to feel the fear fully and do it anyway. There are steps you take. And the reason that I will never say that, if you were on the call last time, then you know the story about my brother. and the way that he died. It is guaranteed that as he was standing there, he was thinking thoughts that he was thinking and feeling feelings that he was feeling. And I very firmly believe that if he had had these tools, if I had known them then, and he had been able to use them, I think he would still be here because he would have had a way to tame those dragons. But I didn't learn them until I had to use them to deal with the feelings that I had about his loss. And so now, when I am working with people, I am helping them tame whatever their dragons are, whatever those feelings that are getting in the way, whatever the thoughts they are having that are getting in the way, so they can do what it is that they have set out to do. Because there is no difference to me between those thoughts and those thinkings that are life and death, and that are the life and death of your dream. Does that make sense?
100%.
So that's what it is that we're talking about. And that's what this work is.
But
So I am incredibly excited to be teaming up with Brock.
it was there, then I was going. Then you have the frontier between the excitement and the fear.
And many coaches will tell you this, which is the difference between fear and excitement is where your breath is coming from. So when you are afraid, your breath is up here in your upper chest, and it's very shallow and it's very fast. When you're excited, your fear is from deeper down in your belly.
You mean your breath?
I'm sorry. Yes. Your breath. Thank you. Glad you're helping me out, Rocky. Yeah. So it can be really hard to pull that breath down. But the tapping, since it's interrupting your stress response, it can help you bring it down. And it can absolutely change fear into excitement. You can use the exercise that we just did today. That is a brilliant way to use it.
I always had when I used to do tour and play, I always get very nervous before I went to the stage, whatever stage was. And on the last couple of years, I start changing my speech. So instead of saying, oh my God, I'm so nervous, I start saying, oh my God, I'm so excited. And that did help me because it's very easy to get confused. What I'm having with this challenge and working with you and this excitement that the vision that we have for everyone, it gets me so excited. Then I get overwhelmed with ideas and actions that I need to take now, and that gets me in a very cuckoo situation. But thank God we.
And so when you're stressed, everything has that importance of now. And it's not really real. So if you are in this state, Rocky, this is absolutely an exercise you can use. And then when you get to the other side of the page and you've tapped that, all of a sudden, oh, well, that can wait until tomorrow, or I should do this thing first and then this. Like, as you relax, then the priorities sort of shake themselves out.
Very
also,
nice.
The other thing is, like, I just said it. I've said it before, the difference between fear and excitement. So I know it. I know. But you know what? When I am in fear, just because I intellectually understand something doesn't mean that that is my emotional experience at the time. And when intellectually knowing isn't enough, this can help. So I use this stuff all the time.
But you still get scared.
Well, of course. And then I use it again.
I know. And that is beautiful. That is beautiful because that is if I don't believe, then I'm very proud of myself. And I could never be who I am if I did not went through so much pain and BS and all the rest. And I went in my life, like, So I feel then is that journeys then we need to embrace. And that is as well, and that is another thing, like when we can be vulnerable and share, that is where on this moment in time in humanity, people are kind of fed up of the perfection online, and is that raw information and honest information then make them connect with us. Just a side note how I see it. But I feel super powerful, and I'm very, very happy that I have you. I'm very happy that you did not give up, and then you are still here with me. And I think you guys are very lucky to experience this, because if it's something, you don't need to be, but if it's something then you can see the full power of, it's going to can have the power to help you change things that you want to change. So for the ones who want to start the 21 days challenge, please DM me directly on my WhatsApp. I will give a link. Is one lesson a day. The first 2 things, or majority of things of days are exercises then we did already, but it's always good to do it again, and it's easy, it's short, and it works. So just DM me, say you want to be part, you get it for free. And if you want to bring anyone, any person in, we can share 50-50. It's $47 to be part. Who's asking something? Oh, Roman, do you want to talk, my dear?
Sorry, just a quick question. The 21-day challenge, is it self-paced or it's actually going to be scheduled? For
no, it's self-paced. You do it. I'm starting now, but you do it, and it's for you forever. So I found in 21 days, people follow along, and it's more easy, because if you see loads of content, it's kind of, oh my God, yeah, where I go. It's viral influence. So basic is the foundations, how to set up yourself, how you tell your story, and their technical parts. So it's not so deep as the blueprint, then you have access already, but is as well an upgrade version. So on the blueprint, you have loads of videos of me talking. Here you have more audios, more fast content, but more directly to the point. And you can invite any other person if you want to do it together with someone. It's really cool, and I can give you a special access for that. So it's about getting results in an easy way and fast way. And it's not then I'm starting running ads. Then that was my issue today. I have a huge thing around ads. But it's about that, and you guys are kind of my beta prog, my victims. And inside we have this call, so we are going to start having an extra call a week with Denise, at least when we have, until we have 4 or 5. And Lisa as well did a kind of a visualization meditation. It's a cool piece of content that you guys can listen to. And I think it's a cool approach, because like I said before, I did thousands of courses. I'm constantly learning, and I never found anything. Everyone speak about the trauma, no, social media is destroying the lives of people, but so, okay, can someone do something to help? Like, I don't see anyone doing, and I cannot take my eyes out of your walls. I'm obsessed. It's beautiful. How many do you have? Like, how do you call that? The spinal for sound proof? How do you call it, Roman?
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat?
Yeah, I'm saying I love your walls.
Oh, thank you. I got this is the bigger one, and then in front of me I have one row just in the back of my speakers.
Beautiful.
So try to do a little bit of closer to the studio, but you know.
Yeah. Tyler, you are joining us now. Thank you so much for waking up.
Okay.
I want to tell you then, when I create the Influence Blueprint and this challenge, one of the main things is finding a way to always have ideas for contents.
Okay, yep.
I will explain to you how I do. There on the blueprint, you can go and look for the values. I always have ideas, but basically I divide or 4 or 5 things that I want to talk, because as an artist, in my opinion, and everything that I share is my opinion, that don't mean it's correct for you. You don't like really grow if you just talk about your music, in special because music on Instagram, when we are talking about Instagram, is something it's not made for, okay? So
Yep.
it's easy to get us very frustrated. So we are going to like guide you and help you look into the numbers as well and understand then. Like for me, I divide my 5 values. So I like, today is slightly different, but I speak about growing online. I speak about motivation. I speak about family and girl power. I speak about living in Cannes. Then is, and this is my motto. And then I always can bring some extra content about something that represents better, about how I want to represent myself. Because the first thing that you are going to do, but text me on WhatsApp. I'll give you access to 21 days. Maybe it's easy for you to break in small pieces, and you can be one of my first victims. So it's always good.
Amazing. Thank you. It's always good to talk to like-minded people about this stuff. It's also my.
Oh, we are good. We are good. You have, and the majority, I don't know who's the oldest one here with me. Florian, you are here first, then Javier. I don't know. I'm there. Who's first, Florian or Javier? I think you, Florian, right?
I think Flo.
Really?
Yeah, Flo.
No, I think you.
No.
You look
I think
older, Flo.
we both came together at
Yeah,
the same
but-
time on the same place,
Same hour, everything.
same hour, same second. So.
Yeah.
So
And we're still in love.
Yes.
I know, but basic flow is easy to get in. Javier was kind of, I don't know if this shit is from me.
But once, yes, you can say that. But once I was in for it, 100%.
Yeah,
He's
we
on
know.
fire.
We know. What I want to say, Tyler, is these people, and special the OGs, and it's not here, like this group is 72 people now, I think, but we just start in March. So and we have so many countries, it's amazing. And even Kenya, like for me, Kenya is like, we have Saudi Arabia, Kenya, we have like the weirdest places there, weird in a good way. But what I want to say, Tyler, is Extra AD, these guys here, they know what they are doing and they are having experience and they have results. In special, some crazy ones like Javier, DJ Mogu is kind of, it is kind of insane sometimes. But, but it's good. It's good. I want to leave you open. Hi, you baby. I want to leave you open. Hi, Moy. Oh, I want to leave you just
With this.
with us. And we are here to support you, and this counts for everyone. Cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, we are going to be super happy to see you, and
Thank you. It's
and
great to be a
connect.
part.
Yeah, we are kind of a nice family, I like to think. I had already 6 kids, but I did decide to have a bunch of more. Okay, my loves,
So,
Denise.
I was going to say, speaking of nice family, I have a request. If you guys got something from this exercise, if you feel like maybe you could use it, if you simply had a pleasant experience with it now, if you could DM me a note about it, I would really, really appreciate it. I will say what Rocky and I are talking about doing is pretty scary because we don't know anybody else who's doing this. So I'm asking for some love in the form of a direct message to me about it. Thank you.
Do you get, don't forget what Denise asked about that, in special for you guys who watch 2 times. If you, Tyler, wants to watch the other class before, if you go to the blueprint, you have a little single say viral mindset, and then you have a master class you can see there. And if you guys can please send the feedback to Denise, it's really important for her. Okay, it's fundamental.
So good. I enjoyed.
Yeah. Normally we talk as well about technical things and Instagram and growing and ads and etc. You will have all of that. We are really good, but for now we are working on master our mind on this. Okay, I will add this tomorrow to the Influence Blueprint or to the Vault, and I see you guys soon. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget Denise.
Take care, everyone. Pleasure meeting you all.
Don't forget Denise.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Father.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
See you later.
Bye.